Hi, this is Son of TheHande Mäkinen, back after our little break again, to bring you another remake of a previous list I've done. This time I'm redoing my bottom 5 animes list, and I'm also redoing my top 10 animes list. But, what's special about this remake is that instead of a bottom 5, this time I'm going to do a full bottom 10 for you all. The last time I did a bottom 5 because I wanted to have more time to discuss each individual series, and that was great, but also, it was also done because I hadn't, at that point when I made the list, I hadn't really seen that many horrible, bad anime series, but because I did the top 10, I decided just for reference sake, I should have a bottom something or other, and the problem was that there were a lot of animes that I'd seen that weren't anything special, but they weren't bad in a funny way, or really worth discussing in any way. So now, however, I have seen a lot more bad anime, and basically the same rules apply here as on the old list, that this is not, strictly speaking, just a list of 10 horrible anime series. All of the 3 following full series, OVAs, and feature-length movies. So let's get on with the list. At number 10, it's Kare Kano, His and Her Circumstances. Now, this one dodged the list last time, and I had already made an entire rant video about why I didn't like this series. Well, the problem wasn't that I didn't like the series, but rather, the reason I have such negative feelings towards this series is that until the halfway point, this was actually a very good romantic comedy drama series. I really liked the characters, I really liked the gags, the comedy was good, the animation quality was great. But then, at the halfway point of the series, it just went downhill. Yes, it's one of these series, again, where the manga that it's based on wasn't finished, so there's really only 2 ways that anime companies seem to be able to go from there. Either they just end on a complete anti-climax, or they start doing some crazy shit. The last half of the series is a complete jumbled mess. It has no structure, it has nothing funny or worthwhile about it, and the 3 episodes in the middle, I think, if I remember correctly, were all devoted to recapping what had happened in the first half of the series. My god, I hate recap episodes. I mean, there is no reason to have them. If your memory is that bad that you need a recap of what's happened in the first half of the series, then I think you have some memory problems, honestly. You should not need a recap unless you've missed an episode, or if the episode is referring to something that did happen a long while ago, and if a lot has happened since. But under normal circumstances, no, you should never have not just recaps, but entire episodes that are essentially just recaps, or shortened versions of what's happened up till then. But, like I said, if you watch it up to the halfway point, it's actually a pretty good series. They resolve the romantic stuff pretty quickly, and after that, it becomes more about the supporting characters, which I like, because there's not a lot of anime series like this that actually focus on the supporting characters. So, it's not a horrible anime, but the latter part of it ruins it. At number 9, Cosplay Complex. This was originally on the bottom 5, and I've given it some slack this time around. Now, my initial criticisms of this 3-part OVA still stand the same. It is by far the most dumbest idea for a show I've ever heard. To summarize quickly, it's about a cosplay club in a Japanese high school with a main heroine who's a member, but a shitty seamstress, so she has a magical space fairy that turns into costumes for her. Oh god, what else is wrong about the series? Well, besides the general concept, the completely generic characters, the fact that there is a self-proclaimed pedophile in the cast, a lesbian rape scene, oh my god, and so much suggestive humor, it just crosses the border. It doesn't fucking care. This is a dumb, stupid anime series. But because it's so horrible, it actually becomes entertaining because of that. This is the sort of series that you look at and you laugh at it, at how bad it is. And because of that, it actually has some entertainment value, and thank God it's only 3 episodes. I mean, honestly, who would want to turn this into a full-length series? So, Basically, it's a bad anime, but it's really, really funny, so that's why it's only number 9. At number 8, Love Hina Christmas Special. I've explained before that these romantic comedy drama anime series are the worst type of anime to go around because I do feel addicted to them. I do want to see a romantic sub-story or really multiple romance stories going on in a series. I don't mind. But the problem is that they never ever manage to finish them off with any sort of grace. And you can imagine, as a fan of the Love Hina series, how disappointed I was to get to the end of the animated series and realize that it ended on a complete anticlimax. Nothing was resolved. So, the company that made the anime decided to milk some more money out of the viewers by first releasing 2 standalone specials and then finally a 3-part OVA that resolved the end of the series. And Love Hina again is pretty good, and you do not need to see either the spring or the summer special, I'm not even sure which one it is, or the Christmas special before it, because neither one of these really advances the plot at all. But the summer special, or the spring special, whichever it is, at least had entertainment value. It was actually pretty freaking funny at times, even if it resolved nothing, even if the story was completely pointless. The Christmas special is the worst waste of your time you could think of. Nothing, I say absolutely nothing got resolved. Nothing interesting happened. All it is that the characters mope around for 60 minutes, and all of a sudden at the end, it's all fine. What a fucking waste! Why would you do something like this? It is absolutely the most pointless anime special of all time. It doesn't even feel like a feature-length Love Hina episode. It is that fucking boring. Number 7, and I'm pretty sure some people are gonna be mad at me, but what the fuck? Tenjho Tenge, or however the fuck you're supposed to pronounce the name. Okay, just looking at the intro to the series, it seems like a pretty dumb premise for an anime to begin with. I mean, it's not that I have anything against really ripped, muscular men beating the crap out of each other, blood spurting everywhere, and boobies. I mean, don't get me wrong, those are good stuff. But once the series tries to actually have a serious storyline, and you finally start to get how fucking messed up it is, you just shake your head and go, what the fuck? I mean, this is honestly the most dumbest idea for a show I've ever seen. It's about, the main character's brother being a homicidal maniac, his friends trying to stop him, and then a new generation of martial artist assholes. I mean, it's got this school where people fight all the time, and I don't know, nothing in the series made any kind of sense. And for the first 5 or so episodes, I kind of enjoyed it. I kind of enjoyed that the series was so over-the-top and silly and, had some TNA and, that usual good stuff. But the minute it started to try and have a serious storyline, I just, no, that's stupid. Come on, you cannot expect me to take you seriously after you've shown me all this crap that you've shown me before. And I don't know why I stuck around for so long to actually watch the series from start to finish, because nothing got resolved at the end. It's another one of those fucking series that ends on a complete anticlimax. Oh my god. My time would have been better spent watching the standalone Dragon Ball Z movies, and I think those suck ass. Seriously, I would have much rather watched the live-action Dragon Ball movie again. This series is that bad. Number 6, the final series before we get to the bottom 5 this time around, it's a new entry. Wolf's Rain. Now again, some people may hate me because they think this is actually a pretty good series, and this is another instance, kind of like Kare Kano, where I actually like the series up to a point, and where did it go wrong? In the last 5 episodes. Spoiler alert, everybody dies! Well, actually, what happened with Wolf's Rain was that I wasn't even a fan of the show to begin with. I mean, it started off kinda slow. I didn't really understand or care about the characters. The story was complete shit. I could tell that from the get-go. But then, 6 episodes in, all of a sudden, the characters started to have a lot more character, and they started to actually be very likable, and I actually started to like the interaction that was going on with them. I mean, I was riffing on the series a lot when I first started, but then, towards the end, I was actually getting really fascinated. Of course, it pulled off that recap bullshit halfway through the series again, but after that, the story got back on track, and it was actually a pretty damn good series. It had very good animation quality, it had very good music, the theme song kicks massive ass. But then, the final 5 episodes, what the fuck was that all about? It is the most wasteful finale to any series I've seen. So Kare Kano was also another series that went really in a wrong way in the latter half. The problem with Wolf's Rain is that I wouldn't really recommend like that first part of the episode. You have to kind of have to stick with the series for a while before you really get into it. But even then, there isn't like a specific moment or a specific set of episodes that I could recommend this series from this series. All I can say is that there are some genuinely very good episodes in this series, but overall, it just falls short by having one of the worst finales of all time. Number 5, Neon Genesis Evangelion. Yeah, I've mentioned before why I hate this series numerous times. I mean, it's another instance of a series that, when it started off, I actually liked. I was actually fascinated by it, and I actually wanted to see where the story was going. But then it ends on, in the latter half, the series starts to deteriorate. The storyline doesn't make any sense anymore, and it's not like you care anymore. Some of the episodes are just too psychedelic and stupid to make any sense out of them. And the finale is a complete anticlimax, but it's not because the series ends on a cliffhanger or anything like that. It's just plain bad. I mean, for God's sakes, why would you end a series like that? It's totally worthless, and I hate the fact that Gainax has basically turned it into, their cash cow with all these toys and other merchandise that go with it. Like I said before on the older list, the Angelic Day spin-off manga, which is based on that little segment in the final episode set in the alternate universe, that is much worth getting and reading than watching this fucking anime. Seriously. Number 4, Lupin the Third, The Gold of Babylon. As a massive fan of the Lupin the Third franchise overall, it just boggles my mind that somebody could actually make a bad Lupin movie. Yet, here it is, Gold of Babylon. Aliens, drunk ladies singing in bad English, gratuitous titty shots, and fucking blackface. Fuck. Blackface. Are you fucking kidding me? How is this appropriate in any context? I mean, okay, I can accept the gratuitous titty shots. I mean, Lupin's a pervert. We all know that. But, really, the story is just complete shit. All the women look the same. I don't know what the hell is up with the animation quality in this one. It is, by far, my least favorite Lupin thing. I mean, my brain just hurts thinking about this fucking movie. It's bad. Don't watch it. Number 3, Street Fighter, the animated movie. Okay, I put this in my bottom 10 least favorite video game movies list as well. And I've expressed countless times before how much I hate this anime. What I hate even more is the fact that people still act like it's somehow superior to the live-action movie. It isn't. The Jean-Claude Van Damme movie actually had a storyline. Street Fighter, the animated movie, has nothing of the kind. If there is any entry on this list that defines gratuitous fan service more than Tenjho Tenge, it's Street Fighter, the animated movie. I mean, I'll grant that the animation quality is pretty kick-ass and the action scenes are good, but nothing in this movie makes any kind of sense. It's completely pointless. Shit! It's shit! I mean, for fuck's sake, is the Chun-Li shower scene really worth praising this movie so many years after we've had 2 serious attempts, well, semi-serious attempts at making a Street Fighter movie? I mean, come on! It boggles the mind, again, just why people even think it's any good. Number 2, Ginga Densetsu Weed. An anime called Weed. I always feel like every time I have to say the name of this series, I just feel like throwing my arms up in the air and saying, I give up. Because this is the continuation of my favorite anime series of all time, Ginga Nagareboshi Gin, also known as Silverfang. And it boggles the mind just how bad this follow-up series can suck. I mean, when you make a sequel to such a legendary series like Ginga Nagareboshi Gin, I mean, you obviously don't expect it to be as good, but you would expect it to be at least tolerable. Weed is not even that! I mean, this is the most over-pyrrhic series I've ever seen. The characters are fucking boring. I don't like the animation quality, but that's besides the point, because animation quality has nothing to do with the quality of the series, as I hope I've established by now. Also, the storyline is fucking lame. And even worse, the story doesn't even have a proper climax. I mean, it's a horribly bloody and, a traumatic, dark series. And I'm not saying Ginga Nagareboshi Gin was all happiness and sunshine and smiles. No, it had dogs and bears fighting each other to the death. But at the end of it, you had a very victorious feeling, like you've watched something really epic and, mind-blowing. At the end of this series, you feel like you've wasted your fucking time because the main character doesn't even kill the villain. Actually, he stops his father from killing the villain, and Mother Nature steps in. The main villain dies by being struck by lightning. What the fuck? Worst finale of any anime ever. And I know that this anime series is only the first leg of the manga, and everybody keeps telling me that the comic book is so much better. Bullshit. It's an unnecessary sequel to what it was essentially just a great anime series. I mean, they could have done something original and cool with it, but they didn't. Instead, we got Weed. Weed fucking sucks. And finally, number 1, yes, you've guessed it, Submarine 707R. I don't even want to go through all the reasons why I think this 2-part OVA is the worst anime I've ever seen, but I think I can list them pretty easily. I mean, okay, I love the submarine genre, Dust Boat, The Hunt for Red October, U-571, I even love that, even though it's historically completely inaccurate. The thing about the submarine genre is the suspense, which really, which is what sells it to me. Submarine 707R just throws that out the window immediately and turns the submarines into spaceships, basically. I mean, so there's no realism in this series. Okay, not the worst move ever, but then the storyline makes no sense, the characters are horribly generic and uninteresting, and even worse, we have sexual fan service from the child department. In other words, we have that thing called loli, which we could easily translate as pedophilia. Yep, I am 100% convinced that the makers of this anime are pedophiles because they use fan service on the main character's underage daughter. What the fuck is wrong with you? Oh my god. I mean, that's just the cherry on the crap cake, isn't it? It's not bad enough that you ruin the submarine genre, have characters that make absolutely no sense, have a story that makes absolutely no sense, the most generic cast of all time, and then you throw this pedophilia shit on top of all of that. I think the line needs to be drawn somewhere, and that's where I draw the line. This anime fucking sucks harder than all the other anime I put on this list. And that wraps up this list. Stick around for the remake of my top 10 animes list. There's gonna be some new entries on that one. So, see you on the next one!